on being the center of your own world. Thank you for coming to my channel, Compass Starlight. I remember many years ago, like 15 years ago maybe, it's hard to believe it's been that much time, but I lived on a farm, and it was in a farming community. Too many words. So I lived on this farm, and the homeowner had a couple horses, and maybe just a couple other animals, and some dogs. And right down the road there was a property that had stables where you could board horses, fields where you could train your horses, paddocks for grazing, I think that's what they're called. And also there were trails on this property, and I also think that they did some kind of competitive horseback riding. I was going to say something or other, like I don't know what it's called because I'm not a rider, but yeah, it would probably be competitive horseback riding. That makes sense. And the homeowner with whom I lived had a couple dogs, and so part of my job living on the person's property was to take the dogs for walks, and I could take them over to this property and let them roam around and give them a chance also to be off leash. Although one of them was such a turd, it was like, I mean, they love to eat horse truffles, if you know what I'm saying. It was kind of gross, but the younger pup would always get into the paddocks with horses, and like the horses didn't like it, and it was dangerous for the dog. He would never listen. Out on the trails with the dogs, I just remember walking, and there are all these hills on the property, and so you're going to go up and down and up and down, and I'm looking at my view, take that viewfinder, and everything I'm looking at is just, there's a limit to my vision. And I really saw the world I was viewing as a painting. Right? The scenery was beautiful. But I also saw that there is a scope of my vision, and wherever I go, there it is. And I thought that it was interesting that, particularly in older video games, I think newer video games have more of a range. If you think about video games, particularly some of the old video games, if you've ever played, you would notice that if there were a screen, your character would always be in the middle of the screen. And the only thing that would change were the positions. Like Mario punching, grabbing coins. The position of the character would change, but the position on the screen was always within so much distance from the left, so much distance from the right, so much distance from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. And in this little space was the main character, your character. What was different, but there might be, depth here showing a hallway, right? Or trees and some kind of horizon, something like that. More modern games allow the character to fly around in different parts of the screen before shifting the view. But the old ones, the old video games kept the character in the center of the screen. And the only thing that changed was the background and their positions. What's my point? My point is that life is kind of like that. That we are always at the center of this view field we have. No matter how we shift what we look at, we are in the center. It's just three-dimensional. But here we are in the center of it all. And what you make around you, whether that background is, a horizon with a field and a skyline, or whether it's a hallway, that was coded in the design of the game. And here we are in a time where we are looking at codes, generational codes, the social norms, the paradigm that we're looking at shifting. Well, the codes are going to shift as well. But we're meant to see that these codes that by which we live formulate the world around us. Everything is within your grasp. So if you don't like what you see, it's up to you to change it. But whatever you're putting in this background, that's all your own design. So don't forget it, because you have the power. You have the power to make the backdrop whatever you want it to be. It's your design. You have the power. You are the painter. You're the creator. You're the abstract artist of the total environment around you. That's a lot of power, and sometimes people don't want to take on that power. Like if you live in a hoarding situation and you have a lot of crap in your home, maybe you don't want to take responsibility for the fact that that world is one that you're creating for yourself. I mean, if it brings you comfort, awesome, but you can't put that on someone else. You can't blame someone else for the environment in which you are living, because you can either leave it or change it. And by changing it, you are also leaving it. And by leaving it, you are also changing it. But this holds true for the people with whom you surround yourself. They are all part of that backdrop, because you are the center of your universe. You are the center of your universe. You are the one in the center. So any person, place, or thing that you find dissatisfying, it is up to you to change any of those bits that compose your immediate environment, your external environment. It is all under your power, and a lot of people won't want to accept that they have the power to change these things, that they have the power to change their environment, their circumstances, to take responsibility for what they have created in their own lives. It can be a hard lesson to come to terms with, but that's kind of what we're facing right now. Are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with what you're calling in? Are you happy with your environment? Are you happy with the people with whom you are surrounding yourself? It is your responsibility to be the caretaker of you and your environment, because you are a divine being, and the only way to honor the divinity within yourself is to recognize it and to treat yourself accordingly. It's beautiful. You're a divine being, and you get to choose what the world around you looks like, because you are a creator. So go out there, and create and manifest everything your heart desires. Thank you for coming to my channel, Compass Starlight.